to AVNewsCast.com on AVNewsCast.com.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's having a hard time. That's funny, Jeff. Morning. It's Friday.
It is Friday.
Yes, thank God.
It is Friday.
This week flew by.
For you?
It flew by.
Not for me.
Oh.
Not for me.
It flew by.
No. Yeah, you're listening to AV Newscast, the #1 news talk radio program in the Antelope Valley.
That's us.
That's funny to Angelina.
No, because you're looking at me. Why won't you look at the camera?
Because I just do my thing, okay?
Yeah,
I just do my thing. But I have noticed, Angelina plays to the camera. She does. She really does. It's kind of cute.
Camera.
Huh?
You're supposed to look at it.
No, you're not supposed to look at it.
Yes, you are. You're not supposed to look at the monitor.
Okay. I don't look at the camera.
Okay.
People notice, though, they say, Angelina plays to the camera.
Whatever. You're making it up
do.
now. Stop playing.
I'm telling you. They really
Whatever.
do.
He's just terrible with this stuff.
Yesterday we had Andy Hughes, supervising social worker for the DCFS, on the show. And we're going to be doing some regular segments. Mm-hmm. And we'll do another one in maybe 2 to 3 weeks.
And I tell you, as everyone knows, I'm doing the map classes right now. And it's pretty amazing because it doesn't fail. I'll feel good. I'll feel, solid in my lane. I'll go to the class. They'll scare me to death. And as I'm driving home, I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Because it's just so scary. It is so scary. It really is.
And she's talking about this story?
Yeah.
And I just noticed for the first time. My voice is not so good because I don't feel too good. Yeah, you're talking right into the camera.
Yes, because that's what you do.
Okay. All right. Okay. I don't.
Okay. I'm trying to connect. I'm trying to connect.
I don't even pay attention to it.
Well, it doesn't bother me that it's there, but I know that you're supposed to talk into the camera.
Okay. We talked about LA.
Never mind what I had to say, though, huh?
Yeah, you're probably right, and I'm doing it all wrong.
No, I was talking about the fact that I'm scared to death. Anyway, the other thing that I wanted to touch on a little bit was, you do these scenarios all the time in the MAP classes because you're trying to get familiar with the kind of abuse that the kid might go through and how you should handle it. And there's an underlining deficiency that you keep hearing that I really, really believe that if somebody said, you know what, and maybe we could talk to Guidance Charter School and see if they could put together something. But if we could start putting together classes for these young people to understand the difference between abuse, the difference between a wholesome relationship, the difference between, vetting out an acceptable match for yourself. Because one of the scenarios that we went through last night was a family that just got married. The mother had a 13-year-old son that she brought into the family. And the son was acting out because I guess he wasn't really included in the relationship. And he was just thrown into this whole marriage. And the husband had said to the wife, you're going to have to choose between your son and me. Oh. And the son heard this and ran away. Oh. When he ran away, of course, this is when he does get help because DCFS finds him or the police find him. And he goes into care and they end up starting to get help for the family. And I'm like, well, what are people thinking? When you blend a family, it's not going to be magic. You're in love with that woman or you're in love with that man. And you like kids. It doesn't mean that you're in love with their kids. It means that you can appreciate the fact that they have a child, but there's work to be done. You can't just step into it and think that it's going to take on this magical, we live happily ever after for the rest of your life.
To me, it sounds like the man really didn't care about the kid.
Of course.
Okay.
But she didn't do her job.
Neither one of them did their job.
Right.
And
it's more important that she didn't do her job because this is her child.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Because you got to protect your child.
You got to protect your child.
And if you have to make decisions, then you pass on a relationship.
You did. I mean, and it's not a secret. I raised both of my kids as a single parent, and when it didn't work with my ex, we broke up, and my daughter I have 2 kids. My daughter was the youngest, and she was a year and a half when we broke up. And I knew right then that I was not going to have another man in my house influencing my kids one way or the other.
That's the way it should be.
And I'm not saying that it was the best decision, that I made, but it was a decision that was beneficial for my kids because they weren't harmed by another individual. They still have their dad, but I wasn't going to play with their future with me possibly making bad choices. And, that's what I did.
The way it should be.
And my kids never had another man in their space. Never.
Okay.
I don't think it's not for everybody. But sometimes it saves you a whole lot of heartache.
Do you want to share some more?
No, I'm just saying. What are you doing?
Wow.
What?
Wow.
You don't think that that's a valid statement?
I do. And you know what? When you get into a relationship, especially if you have kids, you have to be extremely careful and do it a very certain way. Because if you don't, it's going to be all screwed up.
It is.
And there's a certain group of people that go out there for the single moms just to have access to the kids.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Pedophiles, yeah.
I didn't
That's
even
disgusting.
think about that.
Now you're dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're dead. That's with my babies. Now you can go on.
Can I pivot?
Yes, go ahead, Steve. Because
Pivot.
God forbid we talk about relationships.
Oh. No. No, it's
God
but
forbid.
we're not. Okay. Dear Abby. Okay. We talked about the LAPD officer, Roberto Sanchez, 6-year veteran that was killed last week. Okay.
Yeah.
And I said that they arrested one suspect. Actually, they've arrested 2, and have charged him with murder.
Yeah.
And you said, how can they do that?
Yeah.
Why'd they charge him with murder?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. Yesterday, LAPD Chief Charlie Beck made a statement yesterday and came out and held a press conference. The SUV that hit the police car, he was friends with the guy in the Camaro that they were chasing.
I know. That's so bizarre.
He slammed into the police car on purpose.
To help his friend.
To help his friend.
That is way out.
At 60 miles an hour, never hitting the brakes.
Who does that?
I don't have
This
any
guy.
friends that would do that.
No, I don't either. I mean, it's unheard of.
Yeah.
If this is the truth, that is unheard of, and he should absolutely be prosecuted for murder.
He is being prosecuted for murder, 1 count of vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence, 2 counts of assaulting a police officer, 1 count of leaving the scene of an accident, special circumstances of a 2nd-degree murder. He's never, ever getting out of jail. And what's interesting is this guy that they arrested, Maynard Enrique Varela, he's 20 years old. He has never, ever had a traffic ticket.
Well, then
Never
I
been in
hope
trouble with
that
the law.
it's true. I hope that it's true. Because that is just so way out. Isn't it way out to you?
It seems, yeah.
I
But
mean,
he's so squeaky clean.
that seems like a movie. I mean, this boy is squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean.
No ties to any gang affiliations and things like that either.
Nothing.
See,
Never.
they
even
better
a
be
traffic
doing.
ticket.
They better know what they're talking about. Because it just doesn't smell right. Who does that?
They said that they have overwhelming evidence. Okay, that the 2 were friends, that they were linked together.
I get that. Okay, fine, they're friends. But where's the proof that he intended on not meeting up with him? I mean, where's the proof that he intended to hit the car, hit the police car? Because that's strategic too.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying, don't
know.
just. And then what about the passenger? Isn't the passenger being charged too? Why is he being charged?
Yeah, the passenger's name is Brian. He was the driver's 19-year-old brother.
Why is he being charged?
He's an accessory.
If I hit you in my car, my passenger
and he was out on parole or probation as well, so he's back in custody too.
Okay, but I was in the car with somebody that had a clean record, so that wasn't a violation. And you had the accident, not me. So why am I being charged?
Well, he's being held right now.
Am I missing something?
He may have been on the cell phone communicating with the driver of the Camaro.
So we just making up. We just putting just out the sky. Just make the movie happen.
Let me tell you about something that happened to me yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let me tell you about something. I was on my way back from Fort Hill High School. Mm-hmm. And I'm around, George Lane Park is on 55th, right, west. So I was on Avenue M and 55th West. and I'm heading east, stop at that intersection, that stop sign there, and there's a sheriff's cruiser heading west, and he's stopped the opposite direction, right? Mm-hmm. So I drive after stopping the stop sign, heading toward 50th, and there's a few cars behind me, and he whips a U-turn, okay? So now he's behind a few cars that are behind me. And as we're driving, and now about every mile he would pass on the left one of the cars to get closer to me, all right? Now,
Here he comes.
Yeah. Now I'm on my way back to the office, and now we're near the freeway, and I go, there's my sound effects.
Yeah.
And I get on the freeway at Avenue N, okay? Get on the freeway to get off at Rancho Vista, and as soon as I get on the freeway, he pulls up right behind me, turns on his lights, and pulls me over on the freeway. Okay? Now, he'd been trying to get me for 8 miles.
Yeah.
Right? Pulls me over on the freeway. 2 officers, and this is like a felony stop, because the black and white is still rolling, and the doors are open. Okay? And we're on the freeway. They both get out of their cars, and they both approach me. The officer comes up to the passenger side window, knocks on it, and tells me to roll it down. All right? I said, what am I pulled over for? He said, do you have ID? I said, yes. I hand the officer on the right of the passenger side my ID. He says, thank you. Now talk to him. So I say to the guy on my driver's side now, okay? I said, why'd you pull me over? He said, well, the reason the vehicle violation we pulled you over for is because of that thing hanging on your rearview mirror.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, my press pass? And that was like, oops. And he said, that's a violation. But that's not just it. We're out looking for criminals.
Ooh.
I said, you're looking for criminals? And you pulled me over? Are you kidding me?
I'm an old white man.
Are you kidding me?
Say everything that you said.
I said, I'm friendly with Captain Nelson and Captain Don Ford.
There you go.
Okay? I don't understand why you pulled me over. He said, just a minute. He goes back to the cruiser, grabs my ID, brings it right back to me. This all happened in a matter of 10 seconds. There's no way you could have even run my ID. Brings it right back to me, hands it to me, and says, here you go, Mr. Benson, goodbye, and walks away.
Now, how did that make you feel?
Walks away.
How did that make you feel?
I was pissed as hell. Now, they followed me for 8 miles because they thought I looked like a criminal.
Yes, Steve.
Somebody last night said, you need to stop being cheap. Go out and buy a new car.
Yes.
That's your problem.
Yes.
You know what? No, I'm cheap. Okay?
Sorry, Lauren.
Well, okay. But no, that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
It really
did. Now, just imagine when you happen to be a person of color. That happened to you maybe once or twice in your life. Do you realize how many times people of color, especially men, that happens to them? You fit the description. I'm looking for this. And a lot of people don't have a couple names or a press pass to pull out their back pocket.
Yeah, but he you know what? But he specifically made it as though, it had nothing to do with what was hanging from my mirror. We're out looking for criminals.
Yeah.
Okay?
I don't know how you look like a criminal. You don't fit the profile, but I mean, I'm just saying, now you've got a little taste of what someone else's reality is. And it doesn't taste good, does it?
No, I didn't like it. No.
And should it be okay? Shouldn't they have at least a talking to or something? I mean, those 2 guys are running the streets half cocked, obviously. Because if they did that to you, who knows where they begin and end?
And you know what? Because my car's lower than theirs, so I couldn't see through my rearview mirror to even get a car number or anything. And these were like, what do you call them, crash cops? I mean, they don't have uniform shirts on or badges. They're just wearing black T-shirts, just black T-shirts with the sheriff's logo on it, I don't know. So I didn't even get a name, but it pissed me off because he made it as though, I saw you 8 miles ago.
Yeah.
And
he was just hoping that you would do something wrong driving so he could have a legitimate pullover. That thing hanging from your window, your mirror. Terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, well, when I said, my press pass, that was like, oops. Mm-hmm. Okay? Yeah, it just pissed me off, so I'm just saying that. And no, I yes, I spoke to several people about this, okay? And I had several people say that, it was wrong.
Yeah.
But, my car is, maybe I should do something.
But see, that's the thing. Your car is up to California standards. So there's nothing wrong with the way you drive your car or your car in and of itself.
I'm going to drive it into the
It's
ground.
the police department. It's the sheriff's department. They need to stop being placated with bad behavior and nothing ever happening to them. Because it was wrong. That's the part that's wrong.
Well, okay.
Yes, you should get a new car because, come on, Steve, get a new car.
Okay.
But just to not be pulled over by a cop. What about the black person or the Latino? You can't put your white face on when you drive and hope that you don't get pulled over?
Well, it pissed me off. And I was pissed when I came back to the office. Yeah, I was.
And I was like, how does it taste, Steve? Maybe I'm rubbing off on you.
Maybe that's it. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? At law, because of that thing that was hanging from my mirror, that gave them legal reason to pull me over.
No, honey, they were just grabbing at a straw.
I know that, okay?
Because your lanyard is not legal reason to get pulled over.
I know that. And to follow me for 8 miles?
Right.
Okay? It took 8 miles for them to be able to get behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I think that it didn't take them 8 miles because they could have swooped and got you real quick. But they were trying to give you enough rope to do something wrong. So they could say you didn't put your blinker on, you did more than 55. They don't realize that it's Steve, and he never goes over 55. And if they knew him, then they would, try for something else. But they were trying to see if they could really get you in some kind of,
Yeah, well, haha. You didn't. No.
That's your group.
Yeah, that's my thing. Yeah, that's my thing. Up north, Northern California, a CAL FIRE, that's the agency for the entire state of California. Battalion chief yesterday was fired. His name is Orville Fleming.
Orville, what happened?
He was fired because he hasn't shown up to work for 5 days. And it is their policy.
Yeah, it's 3 days.
If you're a no-show, no-call
3 days.
for 5 days, you're fired. You ask, why hasn't he shown up for work?
Because he was in jail in another county?
No, because he's wanted for murder.
Oh.
Because a week and a half ago...
If I had a hat, I would just throw it up. I swear to God.
A week and a half ago, a 26-year-old girl...
I would just throw it up.
26-year-old girl that was his roommate, Sarah Jane Douglas, was found in his home, stabbed to death.
26-year-old girl.
He's wanted. He's out on the run. He's a battalion chief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That never happens.
Never happens.
I mean, there's only a couple of bad cops, like 3, 4.
And the 2 yesterday.
5, 6?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And the 2 yesterday. In a second, we're going to get somebody on the phone. We're going to get Kelly on the phone from Rancho Vista Golf Course. Okay. They've got an event coming up next weekend. I'm actually going to be one of the judges.
Ooh. Really?
She's going to tell you all about it.
What are you judging, Steve?
I'm not exactly 100% sure.
Okay, well, let's get that information out.
I'm not exactly sure.
Are they going to have people watching you and make sure you judge right?
No. This
right.
Yeah.
What are you judging?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, are they in bikinis? What's going on? We're going to get her on the phone.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and see if we can get her on the phone. And while you're doing that, somebody said the other day, I saw somebody post on Facebook that said, you can't choose your neighbors. One woman in St. Johns County in Florida has a solution to that whole problem. Okay? Her name is Anna, and Anna didn't like her neighbors. So one day when her neighbors left, she got on the phone, and she called a heavy equipment operator.
Oh, what?
And they showed up with bulldozers.
You got to schedule that.
And she said, that's my house right there, and I want you to demolish it. Wow. So they should.
I just wanted to get the reaction.
Hi, Kelly. It's Angelina at AVNewsCast. Can I put you live on the air?
She thought she could get away with that?
Yeah. Yeah, so
it'd be okay.
She proved that she had a key to the house,
Uh-huh.
and they demolished all the property.
Here, sweetie, I'll take care of your cat when you're on a trip.
That is crazy.
I thought that was
with a
pretty
capital
good.
K.
thought
You know what?
she was
I do have
Florida.
I do have Kelly on the line.
You
So
do?
I would love to bring her into this conversation.
Hey, Kelly, it's Steven. I'm wonderful. How are you?
Yeah, of course.
We're happy to have you on. Tell us what's going on up at Rancho Vista Golf Course next week.
Ooh. Hold on, Kelly. Are you having Steve judge on a chili cook-off?
Wait,
He can't take any flavor.
Yeah.
didn't I do a good job last year?
You can't take any flavor, Steve. If it's seasoning salt, you're dying.
Yeah.
Well,
God forbid you throw a little black pepper in there.
Yeah.
You're really getting.
What, Kelly? You asked the wrong one. You really did. You need to talk to Jeff and I.
He's gonna
next
need a
year,
Tums
seriously.
IV.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Nice.
Oh.
Nice. You could bring your car.
yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Hey. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
How old does a car have to be a classic? To get what do you, Steve? Steve's
Yes.
the car guy here. How old does it have to be?
What do you mean?
How old does the car have to be to
Come
be?
on.
You're on a show right now.
Anything could be. Yeah, I know.
So you
Anything
should
could
bring
be
your car.
classic. Come on, you could have a '60s
No.
Volkswagen that's classic.
Okay.
No, what about my '88 Yugo?
Oh,
That all
God.
souped up. I'm so sad I got rid of that car. I
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
loved my Yugo.
last year, Kelly, I had a great time over there, and it was a good turnout. I know this year it's even going to be bigger.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's great. And for everybody listening, tell a friend, go up there. It's free, which is a great thing. Okay?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and you, yeah.